7 reasons why your triceps never grow. Have you noticed how some people have impressive arms, with well-developed triceps that give that powerful and athletic look? Meanwhile, perhaps you've been training for months, or even years, without seeing the progress you want in your triceps. The truth is that there are some common mistakes that many people make without realizing it, which may be completely sabotaging your results. So today you'll see the 7 main mistakes that are blocking your triceps growth and a complete workout to solve this once and for all. But before we begin, tell me in the comments your name and how long you've been training. Mistake number 1, not working all 3 heads of the triceps. One of the most serious mistakes and, unfortunately, extremely common is training the triceps as if it were a single, simple muscle. In fact, the triceps is called this precisely because it is composed of 3 distinct parts, or heads: the long head, the lateral head, and the medial head. Each of these heads contributes uniquely to the appearance and functionality of your arm. The long head is the largest of the 3 and is responsible for much of the volume in the back of the arm. It originates above the shoulder joint and crosses both the shoulder and elbow joints. Therefore, to fully activate it, you need exercises where the arm is elevated above the head. The lateral head forms that horseshoe on the outer part of the arm, giving that appearance of a strong arm when viewed from the front. The medial head, in turn, is deeper and contributes to the overall thickness of the triceps. What few people know is that the position of the elbow during the exercise is crucial to determine which head will be more activated. When your elbow is close to your body, as in a triceps pushdown, you activate more of the lateral and medial heads. When your elbow is elevated and pointing forward, as in a French press, you emphasize the long head more. Mistake 2. Always leaving triceps for the end of the workout. Let's be honest. How many times have you set up a chest and triceps or chest, shoulder, and triceps workout and left all the triceps exercises for the end of the session? If you do this regularly, you're making a serious mistake that may be drastically limiting the growth of your arms. There is a very common misconception that the biceps is primarily responsible for the volume of the arm. In fact, it's the triceps that represents approximately 2/3 of the total volume of the arm. Yes, you read that right. While the biceps contributes about 1/3 of your arm size, the triceps is responsible for the other 2/3. Therefore, if your goal is to have impressive arms, the triceps should be an absolute priority. When you always leave the triceps for the end of the workout, you're working this crucial muscle when you're already fatigued, with reduced levels of energy and concentration. Even worse, if you train chest on the same day, your triceps have already been activated as a secondary muscle during exercises like bench press, which means they're already pre-exhausted before you even start working directly on them. The result? You end up not being able to apply the necessary intensity, not using adequate loads, and not maintaining perfect technique in triceps exercises. An approach that I like is to dedicate an exclusive day for arm training, where you can give full attention to both biceps and triceps. You can also adopt a training strategy where you alternate the order of exercises each session, so if one week you started with chest, the next week you can start with triceps. Mistake 3. Moving the elbow during execution. When you perform any triceps exercise, the elbow should function as a fixed point, a stable hinge from which the movement happens. Unfortunately, many people allow the elbow to move up and down or back and forth during execution. The triceps is a muscle whose primary function is to extend the elbow, that is, to straighten the arm. When you allow the elbow to move during the exercise, you are effectively redirecting tension away from the triceps and distributing it to other muscles, such as the deltoids or even the back muscles, depending on the movement. This tension deviation not only drastically decreases the effectiveness of the exercise for triceps growth, but can also lead to muscle imbalances over time. To correct this mistake, focus on keeping your elbow completely stationary throughout the exercise. It may be helpful to imagine that your elbow is glued in a fixed position. In exercises like the triceps pushdown, keep the elbows firmly pressed against the sides of the body. In exercises like the French press, keep the elbows pointing toward the ceiling at all times, without allowing them to move forward or to the sides. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Having constant access to science-based information is what will make you progress with health in the long term in the bodybuilding world. Mistake 4. Not controlling the eccentric phase. Many people focus only on the concentric phase and simply let the weight fall back. losing a crucial component for hypertrophy. Scientific research has consistently demonstrated the importance of the eccentric phase for muscle growth. A study published in the Journal of Applied Physiology showed that training with emphasis on the eccentric phase produced significantly greater gains in strength and size compared to training that emphasized only the concentric phase. Another study in the journal Medicine and Science in Sports and Exercise found that the eccentric phase causes greater microscopic muscle damage, a necessary precursor for hypertrophy, than the concentric phase. Why does this happen? During the eccentric phase, your muscle can generate up to 1.3 times more force than during the concentric phase, which means you can handle heavier loads during this phase. Additionally, the energy cost of eccentric contraction is lower, allowing for greater volume of work before fatigue. These combined characteristics create an ideal environment to stimulate muscle growth. In the specific case of the triceps, controlling the eccentric phase is even more important due to the nature of this muscle group. The triceps responds exceptionally well to prolonged mechanical stress, and the controlled eccentric phase provides exactly that. Mistake 5. Inadequate volume and frequency. Many people adopt extreme strategies. Either they bombard the triceps with dozens of sets in a single day of the week, or as we said in mistake 2, they do just a few superficial sets as a complement after training other muscle groups. Neither of these approaches is ideal for maximizing growth. The triceps, like any other muscle group, responds better to an adequate stimulus strategically distributed throughout the week rather than concentrated in a single session. When you perform all your triceps training in a single day, the final exercises inevitably suffer. Your energy is depleted, your glycogen levels are reduced, and you simply can't generate the same quality of contraction and intensity in the last exercises. On the other hand, distributing triceps training over 2 different days throughout the week offers several advantages. First, you can maintain a higher intensity in each session since you're performing fewer sets at a time. Second, you increase the frequency of stimulus, which is particularly beneficial for muscle protein synthesis, which remains elevated for approximately 24 to 48 hours after training. An effective approach is to work the triceps intensely twice a week, with 3 to 4 days of interval between sessions. For example, you could train triceps on Monday and Thursday, or on Tuesday and Saturday. In each session, focus on 6 to 9 total sets distributed among 2 to 3 different exercises that work the different heads of the triceps. Mistake 6. Incomplete range of motion. Many practitioners, whether due to ego to lift more weight or simply due to lack of knowledge, perform only a fraction of the total possible range in each repetition, seriously compromising their results. Scientific research has consistently demonstrated the superiority of training with full range of motion for muscle development. A study published in the Journal of Strength and Conditioning Research compared the gains in strength and hypertrophy between groups that trained with full range versus partial range. The results were clear. The group that trained with full range obtained 25% greater strength gains and significantly superior increase in muscle mass. In the specific case of the triceps, the full range is particularly important because this muscle functions at different lengths throughout the movement. In the position of maximum elbow flexion, the triceps is at its longest length, where it can generate maximum tension in the fibers of the long head. In the position of complete extension, the triceps reaches its maximum shortening, which is crucial to fully activate the muscle fibers of the lateral and medial heads. When you perform only half the range, you are effectively depriving certain parts of your triceps of the necessary stimulus to grow. A valuable tip: if you can't maintain the full range with the weight you're using, it's a clear sign that the weight is too heavy. Reduce the load and prioritize perfect execution. Mistake 7. Not eating enough for hypertrophy. This last mistake may seem not directly related to triceps training, but what can I do if people make this mistake, and it affects the growth not only of the triceps, but of all other muscles? Many people train intensely, follow impeccable technique, choose the best exercises, but still don't see the desired muscle growth because they simply aren't providing the body with the necessary resources to build new tissue. For muscle hypertrophy to occur in any muscle group, you need to be in a caloric surplus, that is, consume more calories than you expend. This is a fundamental principle of physiology that cannot be bypassed. Muscle growth is an anabolic process that requires extra energy beyond what your body needs for basic maintenance. However, this doesn't mean you should eat anything indiscriminately. The quality of your diet is as important as the quantity. A caloric surplus built primarily from processed foods, refined sugars, and trans fats may provide some muscle gain, but will also lead to a disproportionate accumulation of body fat, practically hiding your muscles under all that fat. Focus on creating a moderate caloric surplus, about 300 to 500 calories above your maintenance, coming primarily from nutritious foods. Prioritize high-quality protein sources such as lean meats, eggs, dairy products, fish and legumes, and complex carbohydrates such as brown rice, sweet potato, oatmeal, and fruits, which should form the basis of your energy intake, providing the fuel needed for intense workouts and energy for anabolic processes. Healthy fats from sources such as avocado, olive oil, nuts, and fatty fish are essential for hormone production, including testosterone, which plays a crucial role in muscle building. Now for the complete workout. Exercise number 1, triceps rope pushdown. This movement is exceptional for several reasons. First, it's one of the exercises that least demands from the elbow joint, making it ideal for people who have a history of pain or discomfort in this region. The rope allows a natural rotation of the wrist at the end of the movement, which provides a more complete contraction of the muscle fibers. The triceps rope pushdown works the muscle in short length, which means that the triceps is relatively shortened during most of the movement. Although exercises in long length are generally superior for maximum hypertrophy, work in short length offers a crucial complementary stimulus for the complete development of the muscle. A unique advantage of this exercise is how it distributes tension among the 3 heads of the triceps. When the hands are separated at the end of the movement, you intensify the activation of the lateral and medial heads. At the same time, the position of the elbow close to the body throughout the exercise also involves the long head, albeit to a lesser degree. To maximize the benefits of this exercise, focus on 2 things. First, keep your elbows firmly pressed against the sides of your body throughout the execution. They should not move forward or backward. Second, emphasize the eccentric phase, controlling the return of the rope for 2 to 3 seconds, actively resisting the ascent of the weight. Perform 3 sets of 10 to 12 repetitions, with 60 to 90 seconds of rest between sets. Exercise 2, French press. This exercise works the muscle in long length, which means that the triceps is in a significantly stretched state during much of the movement. Scientific research has consistently shown that training a muscle in its stretched position produces greater hypertrophy compared to training in a shortened position. The French press is particularly effective for the long head of the triceps, which is the largest of the 3 heads and the only one that crosses the shoulder joint. When you position your arms above your head during this exercise, the long head is placed in a state of maximum stretch, creating ideal conditions to stimulate muscle growth. The position used in the French press is practically identical to the position used to stretch the triceps, which is no coincidence. By loading the muscle in this stretched position, you create a level of mechanical tension that cannot be replicated by any other triceps exercise. A particularly effective variation is the unilateral French press, performed with a dumbbell. This version allows an even greater degree of stretch and a more natural range of motion, since each arm can move independently. Additionally, working one arm at a time corrects muscle imbalances that may arise over time. To properly execute the French press, keep your arm perpendicular to the floor, with the elbow pointing toward the ceiling. Lower the weight in a controlled manner behind the head, allowing the elbow to bend until you feel a significant stretch in the triceps. Then extend the elbow to return to the starting position, focusing on using only the strength of the triceps without involving the shoulders or swinging the body. A common mistake to avoid is allowing the elbow to move forward during the exercise. Perform 3 sets of 8 to 10 repetitions per arm. Exercise 3, Close Grip Bench Press. Unlike the previous exercises, where only the forearm moves, the close grip bench press involves movement of both the arm and forearm, creating a different and complementary muscle recruitment pattern. A unique feature of this exercise is its ability to specifically develop the lower part of the triceps, close to the insertion in the elbow. This region is often neglected in conventional triceps routines, but is crucial to create that appearance of a full arm when viewed in profile. In fact, the close grip bench press is practically the only exercise that provides significant stimulus to this specific area. The development of the lower part of the triceps not only adds muscle volume in a frequently underdeveloped area, but also creates the illusion of larger arms when viewed from different angles. A well-developed triceps in this region creates a continuous and dense visual line from the shoulder to the elbow, which makes your arms appear substantially larger, even when relaxed. To properly execute this exercise, it's very similar to the normal barbell bench press, except that the position of your hands will be closer than shoulder width. Your elbows should be pointing toward your feet and not to the sides as in conventional bench press throughout the movement. Lower the bar in a controlled manner until it lightly touches the middle of your chest, and then push back to the starting position, focusing on the contraction of the triceps during the extension of the elbows. Keep your wrists straight and firm throughout the movement, as this transfers more tension to the triceps and less to the chest muscles. Also, make sure that your elbows remain close to the body throughout the execution. If they start to move away, you'll be shifting the focus of the exercise to the chest. Perform 3 sets of 8 to 12 repetitions, resting 2 to 3 minutes between sets. As this is a compound exercise that allows the use of heavier loads, the longer rest time is necessary for proper recovery between sets. If you like this and also want to discover the main mistakes that prevent your chest from growing, we've left a video explaining each of them appearing right now on the screen. Thank you for watching this far, and may God bless you, my friend.